Here's a Beyond the Pitch podcast quick hit from the WVSA Digital Network.
You're absolutely right. And I love that you added this question in. Dietitians and nutritionists are not the same. And a lot of times, I will be called a nutritionist and, I'm registered dietitians. We're never offended or upset when you call us a nutritionist. It's a lot easier. Dietitian sometimes is a really big and complicated word, but there is a difference in our education, in the way we are trained, that makes registered dietitians just a step above nutritionists. And it really comes down to the hours and hours and hours we put into really working on research-based information. So as a registered dietitian, we have to complete an undergraduate degree followed up by a 1,200 plus hour clinical internship, which is very similar to a medical residency, where we're going between hospitals, long-term care, schools, and really learning and developing our clinical skills to be able to help whatever client population we decide to work with. And then in the next few years, it'll be mandatory that we all have masters. Most of us have master's degrees now, or, kind of coming through, because it will be mandatory, I believe, as of 2024. And then after that, we have to pass a nationally recognized exam from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, which is our governing body. And then from there on out, we have to complete continuing education. So every few years, submitting hours that we are continuously working on our education, focusing on research-based information. And that's really the key difference between a lot of nutritionists and dietitians, where registered dietitians have all of this education and background. Nutritionists don't necessarily have that. I mean, to be a nutritionist, you can simply take an online course, whether it be a 2-hour course, a 2-week course, something very short and quick, and then call yourself a nutritionist. And sometimes you don't even need that course. You can just post up a sign and say, hey, I'm a nutritionist because, I tried this diet and it worked for me, so it's going to work for everyone else. And that's the big flaw with nutritionists, is that one size fits all things just don't work. And a lot of times they can cause a lot more harm than good. So, whenever I'm educating, whether it be athletes, parents, coaches, things like that, I always recommend find a registered dietitian. And especially if it's going to be working with an athlete or a group who is very high performing, kind of burning a lot of energy, make sure you try to find a board certified sports dietitian that has that CSSD after their RD credential.